up pretty soon, Jason.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting that kick to get them going, and that kick is coming in from Louisiana and Mississippi in a matter of hours. So we will go from a very quiet scan to a lot of active thunderstorms here between now and about 7 p.m. This is the radar as we speak. There are some active showers in Jefferson County and Shelby County, a little handful of showers around Fayette County and Lamar County, but not all that much big time action just yet. And it's a very unassuming batch of showers and clouds over Louisiana that's moving into an atmosphere that is just absolutely ripe for strong to severe thunderstorm development here across Mississippi and into the state of Alabama as well. Some storms here will get going around French Camp and Starkville and Columbus, as well as parts of Pickens, Tuscaloosa, Fayette, Lamar counties as early as 5 o'clock, as there's a front moving in from the north and all the warm, humid air coming in from the south and southwest. So while we don't have that much right now, things do look to get active here very soon. So storms will develop in this zone through the early evening. I'll call this round one. Now, you're going to see a difference between round one and round two about where they are geographically and their timeline. So here's round one. That's going to include Birmingham, maybe even parts of Coleman, Blount, Etowah. We're right on the edge there where thunderstorms could get that far north. So it's between now and 7 p.m. that storms will be most likely in this zone. Aliceville, Hamilton, Fayette, Jasper, Nauvoo, up to Double Springs, Coleman, Aniana, through Birmingham, Gardendale, Hueytown, Hoover, Alabaster, over to Meadowbrook and Chelsea. And then you get after 6 p.m. through about 11 p.m. Now, they're not necessarily moving southeast, but they will be expanding southeast down toward Chilton County and Coosa County, into the Sylacauga area where we had some wind damage and some flooding earlier today. Shelby County, St. Clair County, into Clay County too. And then after 9 p.m. through about midnight, those storms are going to be sinking south down toward the Montgomery area. Round two, I really think, is mainly south of Interstate 20. So if you're north of Birmingham after midnight, you're not going to have to worry about too much. All this is going to be a big cluster of thunderstorms that races eastward after 9 p.m. through the early hours of tomorrow morning. Could clip parts of Bibb or Chilton, Green, Hale, as well as Coosa, Tallapoosa counties. But again, I think most of that action is going to be to the south. So let's look at this hour by hour. The initial batch of thunderstorms this evening will affect some of the counties that are highlighted in yellow here. A limited risk of tornadoes. I think our biggest threat may be from very large hail from these storms. But if a tornado warning is issued, I want you to take it seriously. You saw what happened last night up in Tennessee and in northeast Alabama. It would not take much to get one of these individual thunderstorms to spin and become supercellular, and that could produce a tornado, and sometimes they can get very significant when there's enough fuel around like we have today. By 8 p.m., there's our cluster of thunderstorms moving southeast of the Birmingham Metro through Tuscaloosa and Aliceville, and then they just sort of congeal down here close to Highway 80. Montgomery over to Selma, and then headed into Auburn, and then down toward Eufaula and Troy through the overnight hours. Here comes that second batch, and again, mainly south of Birmingham. Some large hail, strong wind gusts, limited risk of tornadoes here. And this is what it's going to look like when we look at simulated radar. Keep in mind, the earlier storms could interfere with some of this action around Montgomery at that point. I do think there will be some very strong storms over the southwest corner of the state through the first part of tomorrow morning, and then into about 7 a.m. they're down to the south. We still could have a few showers around here through the first part of the day on Friday, but the rest of the afternoon, I think we're looking at sunshine, highs in the upper 70s with much lower humidity. Less humid on Saturday, too. We're down to 52 on Saturday morning. Sunday, we're up to 80. Monday, some scattered showers and storms will start to creep back in. And then it's hit or miss thunderstorms Tuesday and Wednesday. Next Thursday is going to be another impact day with the potential for heavy rain and maybe a few strong storms there as well.